I still remember the moment I first bit into a perfectly ripe piece of fruit on a warm summer day decades ago. That simple taste burst open in my mouth, instantly bringing me closer to nature's goodness and making me feel alive and young at heart. As the years have passed, and I've tried all sorts of things to stay active and vibrant, I keep coming back to the power of natural foods, especially fruits. There's something so refreshing about picking a piece of fruit that's bursting with juice and flavor, knowing it was grown from the earth, and realizing it can do our bodies a world of good. There's a memory that stands out in my mind even now. I was maybe 15 or 16, and I had a friend whose family owned a small orchard. We'd spend weekends carefully picking apples off the trees, making sure not to bruise them, because bruised fruit doesn't keep well. After a long day of picking, we'd wash a few, slice them up, and eat them at the picnic table. A slight breeze would blow through the orchard, carrying the scent of apples all around us. When I was a child, our family home was surrounded by trees that seemed to hold a secret in each branch. We had a couple of apple trees, a row of raspberry bushes, and neighbors who'd share oranges or peaches whenever a harvest was in full swing. It's funny how, as I've grown older, I've appreciated these simple gifts even more. Now, let me share a few thoughts on 8 wonderful fruits you might want to keep on your table if you're looking to maintain good health and possibly prolong your life. I used to think that staying healthy was all about fancy supplements or going on strict diets, but I've realized over time that small, consistent habits often do more good than extreme measures. And fruits, to me, are one of those straightforward ways to pack in a lot of nutrition without feeling deprived. I've witnessed how adding a piece of fruit to your breakfast or swapping a sugary snack for something fresh can make a real difference in how you feel day by day. It's like giving your body a gentle pat on the back, reminding it that you care enough to give it something valuable to work with. Before we get further, I'd like to know where you're joining us from, and if you get any value from these fruit-focused videos, a like and subscribe would mean a lot. Now, let's talk about these 8 fruits that can help us seniors live healthier, longer lives. I've always considered apples a symbol of health. All my life, I've heard folks say, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." While that might sound a bit old-fashioned, I believe there's some truth in it. Apples are packed with fiber, which helps keep our digestive system on track. That's especially important as we age, since many of us find that certain parts of our bodies don't work as smoothly as they used to. It's such a natural way to get fiber into our routine. Plus, the vitamins and antioxidants in apples are like small defenders inside our bodies, helping to fight against various health concerns. I also find apples to be quite versatile. Sometimes I'll have one raw, just biting into it with a satisfying crunch. Other times, I'll bake them into a warm pie sprinkled with cinnamon or chop them up in a salad with walnuts. When I was younger, we used to gather around a big table on weekends to peel apples for canning. My mother insisted that the skins and cores be saved for making homemade vinegar. Nothing was wasted, and that taught me to value every part of the fruit. Over time, I've come to enjoy apples of all kinds, from the crisp Granny Smith to the softer Macintosh. If you can get them fresh from a local orchard, even better. I've realized that the older I get, the more I appreciate those local, sustainable options. It feels good to support a small farm and to eat produce that hasn't traveled too far to reach my plate. Blueberries are small, but they carry a whole load of benefits for seniors like us. I've been enjoying blueberries for as long as I can remember. Growing up, we used to pick wild blueberries near the forest edges in late summer. I can still see my younger self, hands stained purple, with a grin that showed I'd eaten half of what I was supposed to be collecting. There was an older couple who lived nearby, and they'd give us a few coins for every pint of blueberries we brought them. This gave me a little spending money and a deeper connection to what nature could provide when we took the time to look. Blueberries are known for their high antioxidant content, which can help protect against memory decline. At 75, I do notice little lapses now and then, and I'm grateful for any natural help I can get. I love them on top of my morning cereal or oatmeal. Sometimes I'll mix them into pancake batter for a delicious breakfast treat. Frozen blueberries work great in smoothies too. They add a bright color and a subtle sweetness without me having to add sugar. And if you want a healthy dessert, you can warm up some blueberries in a pan until they get a bit saucy, and then pour them over plain yogurt. It's one of those simple pleasures that remind me of warm summer days, even in the middle of winter. Oranges are a bright spot in my day whenever I peel one open. The aroma alone can uplift my mood instantly. Packed with vitamin C, these citrus wonders are fantastic for supporting our immune system. I used to catch colds all the time when I was younger, but as I grew older, I started making sure I got plenty of vitamin C each day. I can't remember the last time I had a stubborn cold that lingered on and on. These days, staying healthy feels more important than ever. I want to make the most of my retirement years, so I tend to keep a bowl of oranges on the kitchen counter, so I'll see them and remember to eat one. I'm also mindful that oranges contain fiber and have a high water content, which can help us stay hydrated. Sometimes I slice up oranges and add them to a salad with spinach and a light dressing. The sweetness offsets the bitterness of the greens. Other times, I might make a small cup of fresh squeezed orange juice, though I usually don't overdo juice because it can have quite a bit of natural sugar. Still, it's a treat, and one that reminds me how simple it can be to enjoy life's natural flavors. When I was a kid, my dad would pack an orange in my lunchbox on special days, and I'd always look forward to that burst of sweetness during my break at school. Bananas, in my eyes, are one of the most convenient fruits out there. They come in their own handy packaging, they're typically affordable, and they're loaded with potassium. Now, potassium is something I pay extra attention to because it helps keep my muscles and nerves working properly, and it supports healthy blood pressure too. I like them in my morning oatmeal or sliced on top of peanut butter toast. Sometimes I'll even blend a banana into a smoothie with spinach, yogurt, and a small handful of nuts. It's a quick, easy way to get a nutritional boost. Bananas also make a great base for homemade ice cream. If you freeze sliced bananas and then blend them, you get a creamy dessert that feels indulgent without being full of processed sugar. You can add a bit of cocoa powder or berries for extra flavor. It's the kind of treat that satisfies my sweet tooth without making me feel guilty afterward. When my grandkids come over, they're always impressed that something as simple as bananas can become a frozen delight. Strawberries are another bright and sweet fruit that makes me think of sunny days. My father used to grow them in little raised beds, and I can still taste the sun-kissed berries that we picked straight off the plants. Those fresh ones always had a way of staining our fingers bright red, but it was worth every bit of that sweet juice. These days, I'm aware that strawberries provide a bunch of vitamins and antioxidants, not just a delicious taste. They're known to help support heart health, which is a concern for most seniors. Plus, they're relatively low in sugar compared to some other fruits, so they can fit into many dietary needs. Whether you eat them by themselves, chop them into a salad, or blend them into a smoothie, strawberries bring color and nutrients to your plate. Sometimes I make a quick dessert by slicing strawberries and tossing them with a little balsamic vinegar. It may sound odd, but the tangy flavor of vinegar really brings out the sweetness of the berries. My grandkids are always a bit skeptical until they try it, and then they usually want more. It's a simple pleasure that reminds me how a fresh, vibrant fruit can become the centerpiece of a snack or meal. Grapes are a lovely snack for when you crave something sweet but don't want to overdo it with candy or cookies. They're portable, they're fun to pop in your mouth, and they come in so many varieties: red, green, black. That diversity means there's a good chance of finding one type of grape that really fits your taste. Beyond their pleasant flavor, grapes are believed to help maintain healthy blood vessels and circulation, partly because of compounds found in their skin. Red and black grapes, in particular, have been talked about for their potential heart protective properties. I sometimes freeze grapes and enjoy them on a warm day as a sweet, cool treat. When I first heard about freezing grapes, I thought it sounded strange, but once I tried it, I was hooked. It's like having little bite-sized popsicles that happen to be good for you. When I was in my 50s, I took a trip to a vineyard with some friends. I was never much of a wine drinker, but I enjoyed learning about how grapes are grown and harvested. It gave me a deeper respect for the fruit, realizing that each grape is the result of careful tending, sunlight, and rain. Now, whenever I eat grapes, I think about that process and appreciate the simplicity of having them readily available at the store. Now, I know there's a bit of debate about whether avocados are truly a fruit or something else. Technically, they are fruits, and I couldn't resist including them here. Avocados are one of those foods that I've grown to love more and more over the years because of their creamy texture and their healthy fats. Those fats can help keep our cholesterol in check and support a healthy heart, which is so crucial as we get on in years. I like to slice avocados on whole grain toast with a pinch of salt and pepper in the morning. Sometimes I mash them up with a bit of lime juice for a simple guacamole to go with dinner. Of course, I watch my portion sizes because they do have a fair amount of calories. But overall, avocados are a nutritious option for seniors who want to add a bit of good fat into their diet. A friend of mine once told me he didn't care for avocados because of their texture, so I showed him how to make a simple avocado spread with lemon juice, a little olive oil, and chopped tomatoes. He was surprised at how quickly it became a favorite. It's funny how a simple twist can change someone's mind about a fruit they'd avoided for years. I appreciate that avocados are versatile enough to blend into dips, spread on sandwiches, or top a salad. I'll admit, I wasn't always a fan of pomegranates. They seemed like too much trouble, with all those little seeds and the risk of the red juice staining my clothes. But once I learned how to open them properly, scoring the skin and gently tapping out the seeds, I found they were well worth the effort. These seeds, also called arils, are loaded with antioxidants that can help support heart health and may even have anti-inflammatory effects. For someone in their 70s, like me, fighting inflammation is a big deal. It can affect everything from joint comfort to long-term health. Pomegranates have a bit of tang and sweetness all at once. They can jazz up a salad, or you can just snack on them as they are. They're also a colorful addition to your plate, which can make healthy eating feel a bit more festive. I remember the first time I showed my grandson how to open a pomegranate. He was delighted by the sight of all those bright red seeds. We spent a while just admiring them in a little bowl before finally digging in. Sometimes, food can be a fun, interactive experience, and that's part of what I love about including fruits in my daily life. There's a certain joy in taking a moment to appreciate what nature has to offer, rather than rushing through meals. Now, if you're not used to having these fruits in your daily routine, don't worry. You don't have to grab all 8 at once. Maybe pick 1 or 2 that sound appealing or that fit your budget, and try adding them into your meals. Over time, you might discover something that tastes great and makes you feel better too. Sometimes, it's not just about the vitamins or the fiber or the fancy health talk. It's about making little choices each day that support our well-being. Don't forget that fresh fruit isn't your only option. You can also buy frozen fruit, especially if fresh fruit is out of season or too pricey. Frozen blueberries or strawberries can be just as nutritious as the fresh versions, and they keep in your freezer for a good while. Canned fruit can work too, but check the label and aim for varieties canned in water or their own juice, rather than syrup. If you have digestive issues or particular health concerns, it might be worth talking to a doctor or a nutritionist. They can let you know if you need to be careful about how much fruit sugar you're eating, or if certain medications might interact with certain fruits. Always better to be safe than sorry. But in general, fruits are such a gift to our bodies, especially as seniors. They're colorful, they're flavorful, and they come with a range of nutrients that can help us feel better day to day. When I look at a bowl of fruit, I see not just the produce itself, but also the sunshine, the soil, the farmers who grew it, and the traditions I've carried with me from childhood to now. It's a wonderful way to connect with life's simple pleasures and keep ourselves going strong. I'd also like to share a quick story from when I first focused on my diet in my late 50s. I was feeling sluggish, and my doctor urged me to consider what I ate each day. My meals were mostly bread, meat, and packaged snacks. When I added fresh fruit, I noticed changes. My energy improved, I felt more regular, and my mood lifted. It wasn't overnight, but the slow shift to natural foods helped. If fruit hasn't been a priority for you, don't be shy. Visit a local market or sample a new variety. One sweet bite of a fresh peach or a tangy piece of pineapple can spark a new passion. I remember being hesitant at first, worrying about the cost or whether I'd like the taste. But once I got going, I realized just how satisfying a juicy, colorful fruit can be, especially on a hot afternoon. It's not about making drastic changes. It's about giving ourselves small moments of goodness that add up over time, helping us stay energetic and connected to life's simple joys. Our bodies respond kindly when we treat them well. Fruit can be a simple, tasty step toward better well-being. Nature truly offers us gifts. All we have to do is enjoy them. Thank you for spending this time with me, listening to an old soul's reflections on apples, blueberries, oranges, bananas, strawberries, grapes, avocados, and pomegranates. Each fruit has its own charm and its own way of supporting our health in these golden years. I hope that by sharing my humble experiences and a bit of information, you'll find something here that resonates with you and helps you nourish your body in a gentle and enjoyable way. So, here's to us seniors eating our fruits and living a healthier, happier life for many more years to come. We may have gained a few wrinkles and wisdom lines, but I believe our bodies can still flourish with the right care and attention. And if that care includes a piece of fresh fruit or two each day, then we're off to a wonderful start.